Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Melissa, and today we're going to be talking about concealers. Earlier in the year, one of my viewers requested a video on my top concealers for women over 40. I certainly qualify for women over 40, and I certainly have a lot of concealers. These are all concealers. So I thought I would talk about some of my favorite concealers that I have currently in rotation. I am probably like most women, I seem to be on a quest for that Holy Grail concealer that's going to make you look 20 years younger and, you know, cover everything you need it to cover, but not emphasize your fine lines and wrinkles. You know, I don't really think it exists, but I do have some that I routinely go back to that I really consider my Holy Grail concealers. So I thought I would share with you today some of my favorites. I will preface this by saying I don't have really dark under eye circles. That's not really what I'm looking to cover. I'm looking to kind of brighten my under eye area and even out the skin tone under there and not emphasize any lines and wrinkles that already exist in that area. So I'm going to start off with something that I probably don't really need to mention, but I'm going to mention it anyway. And that is, if you are someone who is a little bit older or who is already starting to see some fine lines and wrinkles, you really want to find a good moisturizer to put under your eyes that'll help hydrate and plump up that area so that when you do lay down some concealer, it'll look nice and smooth. And I picked up this Shiseido Benefiance Wrinkle Resist eye cream during the Sephora sale at the end of last year, and it's really terrific. So, you know, doesn't seem like there's a lot in here, but a little bit goes a long way. This is very, very thick and a rich cream, but it does go on really smoothly and beautifully, and it doesn't interfere with the application of any concealers I put over it. So I will usually start by putting this on under my eyes and giving it a chance to absorb in while I put my foundation on and let that all settle, and then I'll go back a little bit later and do my concealer. But this is really a fabulous one. So I'm going to start off, I have 2 drugstore and 2 that are not drugstore, and so it gives you nice options to choose from. I'll start with the drugstore options first. And this is one that so many people talk about here on YouTube and use on YouTube. I think it's reaching somewhat of a cult status, and it's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer. Now the one I have here is in the shade, it's the Brightener. It's not one of the concealing shades, but I love the Brightener. I think it does a great job, especially when I'm doing a smoky eye and I want to kind of brighten up that under eye area a little bit, or if I'm feeling like I do have some dark circles, it really, I think, does such a great job brightening up that area. It also comes in some regular concealing shades, so, you know, pick and choose the ones that work for you. A lot of people don't like this. I don't mind it. It's a little sponge, and I just tap, tap, tap. I actually think that this kind of applicator prevents you from putting too much concealer on. So think about that one for a little while. Anyway, I do really like this. Sometimes the applicator fails and you have to just pitch the whole thing. I've had that happen to me, but it's so reasonably priced, I really don't mind. But this is awesome. Really an awesome, really good drugstore concealer. The next drugstore concealer I want to talk about is, I think it's relatively new, and it's the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Again, another really great concealer that a lot of people are talking about. And the shade that I have is 15 Fair. Just comes on a little doe foot applicator. And I would say this has a little bit more coverage. A lot of people talk about this as a dupe for the NARS Creamy Concealer. I think it's not as thick as the NARS Creamy Concealer, but it's been a long time since I've pulled a tester out and tested it. I never actually purchased the NARS Creamy Concealer because I thought it was a little too heavy for me. But this is really a really great drugstore concealer, and I think it really gives some nice coverage. The next two concealers are ones that I would consider higher end, and the first one I want to talk about is from bareMinerals, and it is their Stroke of Light concealer. And the shade I have it in is Luminous 2, and this also comes on a little sponge tip applicator, and that's this one right here. I think you get really nice coverage from this. It comes in a number of shades, so you can pick and choose, but you can see it's a little bit more yellow toned than the Fit Me. So it's really just kind of what you're looking for on that particular day. And for me, it varies from day to day. Like, you know, what I pick and choose, it really can vary tremendously. So the last concealer I want to talk about is definitely a cult favorite, and I think I read somewhere, you know, you've run across these random facts you read online or in magazines that there's one of these sold every 16 minutes. Who keeps these kind of statistics? This just is stunning to me. Anyway, and it's the TOUCHE ÉCLAT from YSL, and this is definitely a high-end concealer, and it is considered more of a brightener or a highlighter, but so many people use it to brighten up under their eyes as a concealer that that's pretty much the norm. It comes in a little pen applicator in case you've never ever seen one of these, and there that is. So it's a little bit brighter. So these are all very different shades, but they all work for me depending on what I'm trying to do. But the nice thing about the TOUCHE ÉCLAT is you could use it to do some highlighting elsewhere on your face as well as under your eyes. So it is somewhat of a multitasker. You could actually really do that with any of these if you were inclined to do that kind of highlighting on your face anyway. So those are four of my, what I would consider my Holy Grail concealers. These are the ones that I reach for the most, even though I have this bucket of other concealers in here. And these are the ones that I would absolutely repurchase. So before I let you go, there are two other little things I wanted to talk about. And the first one is I recently picked up the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Found Sealer. It's actually the foundation that I'm wearing today, although I didn't intend to do that, but hey, it's a happy accident. This is a really interesting product that has a lot of coverage, but why I mention this is I have actually used this just as an under eye concealer. Yes, I have. And it's super thin, super light. It's really a very thin formula, very thin, kind of serum-y like, but I really like it under my eyes. So this is something, if you have this as a foundation, if you pick this up in the QVC TSV, try it under your eyes, because I thought, wow, this is a winner for under my eyes. I didn't feel like it emphasized any of those problem areas that sometimes exist under your eyes. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is powdering or setting your under eye area. To set my under eye concealer when I feel that is necessary to do, I don't feel like it's necessary to do all the time, but on occasion I do, I picked up the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. So this comes in just a little jar with a sifter with a very finely milled, very lightweight powder that really just disappears into the skin. It's so light and fine, so it doesn't build up or make that area very cakey. I kind of bought it on a whim, thinking, oh, it's not much money, I'll try it and see, and I was like, wow, this is almost life-changing, because I never would powder under my eyes. So I usually use the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. It's just kind of a little fluffy brush. I take what's in the cap, I rub it around, and I just, I mean, that's really, I don't put a lot on, and I think that's the key, and it's just enough to kind of set that area and make it a little brighter. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, because that helps me get a little bit more visibility in the YouTube world, and I appreciate that very much. And I would love it if you would leave a comment down below with which concealers are your Holy Grail concealers, or if you have a recommendation for me that you think might be worthwhile to check out. I'm always looking for new ideas, and I get lots of great ideas from you guys, and I so appreciate your feedback. So certainly leave me those comments, and if you are new to my channel and you're just stopping by for the first time, I would hope that you'd hit the subscribe button and join me for future videos. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.